Here are some of the prophetic visions that I've received between the 1st and the 7th of April 2026. I hear the word Iran will be human feces, shit. Trump's threats are becoming more and more extreme, escalating this conflict higher up, and in response the Iranians are turning back with propaganda, Lego movies, threats of taking out Burj Khalifa and other iconic buildings in the Gulf states as a retaliation against Trump's threats to take out their bridges and their power system, and also tabling ideas of nuclear warfare strikes against Iran to deal with this, breaking the Strait of Hormuz quickly rather than losing lots of men, using heavy nuclear weapons to totally destroy the Iranian regime. So the last few days over Easter we've seen some incredibly escalatory, offensive, horrific tweets being made by Trump. It's very difficult to see exactly what's going on, the truth of the matter behind all of the political posturing and rhetoric and threats and retaliation behind it. But now we're starting to see the Russian flag popping up behind the Iranians, and of course they're the sponsors, Iran, Syria, of what's going on in the Middle East. Gog and Magog is a scripture that relates to what's happening at the moment, the building up of these military forces. It's a sacrifice to the Lord. All those dead bodies will be food for the birds. The Russians, Gog, will be judged on the mountains attacking Israel. But he's caused to come into this conflict by the hand of God to bring him around and all of the hordes with him to do an evil thing that's brought into his mind so that he can be crushed. So there's going to be a lot of dead people coming up. These are the prophetic visions that I've seen. Iran will be human feces. I heard that on the 1st of April. Then I see a broken heart. Broken hearts, no more broken hearts. Finding a place where we both can be free. And then I see a broken heart, you and me, and that word for Pete Hegseth and Elon Musk. And on the 2nd of the 4th, I dreamed of the extortion threat against my daughters and the send this message won't miss, and the cargo net with the dead bodies. 3 weeks she's been there, she's turning to custard, maybe she needs some clothes, people trapped in a net. I see close up catamaran bow of the catamaran and very, very sharp wave piercing tips on a twin hull vessel, and I see outlook.com, and I'm standing on the bow of this vessel looking out to sea as a watch, keeping watch on the bow. And I hear you'll need to work it out together. It's about to get a lot harder for you now. And I see a broken heart. I see again today a broken heart. I met this week people from South America, a Mexican I prayed for in the pub, and a Guatemalan on Good Friday that I spent the day with having a chat about world history and trade and commodities and shipping and the like. Sailor, pretty cool. Good Friday prayers for people that Jesus brought to me. I see a broken heart, Elon and May on the 3rd of the 4th. And I'm dreaming of a man talking to me about my aerial as an inheritance. And I say, it's only worth $100. It's hardly worth inheriting. And I see a rising sun on the back of this man, like a tattoo, which relates to Japan. And then I see him climbing over the back of a caravan that's underway, and I'm thinking about the wet exhaust. I've got to check the wet exhaust on my ship, and I'm climbing over the back of this caravan to hop on board. And then I hear on the 6th of April, likely outcome is usually the funniest. That's where we're heading. And I see the broken heart again on the 7th, and I see thank you, victory. And the verse that I heard earlier on this week was, righteous men and women will pass judgment on them, which comes from Ezekiel. And the verses from Ezekiel 38 and 39 regarding Gog and Magog is what's come into my line of sight for reading. This month is what's happening with Russia, Syria, Turkey, Iran, and this war escalating into a global conflict against Israel. So we should expect that evil plan coming into the mind of Meshech, Tubal, Gog and Magog to bring about all these military forces by God's calling into a conflict to judge his people and to judge them. And it says for 7 years they'll be picking up the weapons and cleansing the land, marking out the bones of these people as if they may be contaminated with a nuclear radiation perhaps. That's the vision from the end of the verses in Ezekiel 38 and 39. 7 years covering up, cleaning up the mess of dead bodies in the land, in the valley of dead is what it becomes, a graveyard for Gog and all of the hordes that are with him against Israel. God judges them, and the outcome is that his name will never ever be defiled, will never ever be mocked, ridiculed again, and they'll know that God's hand is the hand that saves. That's the outcome of this feast, this human sacrifice for the birds. That's what we're going to see coming up in the next few years, developing quickly.